Welcome to the Mill Brook Railroad, and today we're going to take a look at our turntable pit. Now, turntables need to index into the tracks that surround them. You need to lock them in. Well, I couldn't think of a better way to lock the tracks in than to build a turntable pit. So we're going to do that. We're going to at least cut the pieces in this video, and we'll see where it goes from there. Several years ago, I picked up this turntable from Canada. Drove up in December in my old 66 F250. And this was probably 2012, somewhere around there. I think it was about 2012, 2013. Went and picked up this turntable, bunch of track, and baggage express car, which I gave to a friend of mine after he helped me out with some work. So the turntable here, this is the table itself. I've set it in the ground on a sonotube with a giant foot. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of that. That was 2020 when we put the foundation in for it. So it's not going to shift with frost heaves or anything. It's in there really good. The foundation goes down 6 feet. So that is fairly permanent. What has not been permanent at all was the pit wall that we've made so far, which really isn't a wall at all. Let me show you the original pit wall. I think this is going to serve the purposes a whole lot better. But first, let me show you why I want a pit wall. So this track here, that is enough to derail a train. It moves a lot. And it moved a lot when it was on top of that cement block right there. So I need to lock this in to something that doesn't move. And what doesn't move? Well, a ring around the turntable. So we're gonna replicate the original turntable pit wall. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is the original turntable pit wall. You know, as I think about it, I think we moved it in 2016. The turntable pit, the turntable, a bunch of track. I think we got a bunch of ties with it too, come to think of it. Yeah. Because these ties right here came from Saint Calixte, Quebec. So anyway, this is made up of 200 individual pieces, each 17 1/4 inches long, and they're roughly 2x2s. So 2x4 ripped down the middle. And yes, it was measured in imperial measurements. I'm not converting from metric, even though it came from Canada. Canadian lumber is measured in imperial measurements because, to be honest, most of Canadian lumber ends up in the United States in our big box stores and, well, home centers, and ends up being used to build our homes and everything. That's another topic entirely, which I shall not touch on any further. But anyway, what we're going to do with this is we're going to use this old turntable pit wall as a template for making the new turntable pit wall. I got a bunch of ground contact pressure treated 2x4s, and we're going to cut those to length, and then we're going to rip them down the middle, and we're going to make it work. This turntable pit wall is simple enough to make. And you know what? If it rots, I suppose then it'll be a template for a concrete form or something. I don't know. Or I shouldn't say if it rots. I should say when it rots, because it's wood. But it'll last long enough, and it'll be stable enough to lock tracks into, and that'll That'll accomplish the goals that I needed to do without breaking the bank. So without further ado, let's start cutting. All right, step one in making this turntable pit wall. We have to cut 100 pieces to 17 1/4 inches. Why only 100? Because we're gonna rip them in half. And as slow as this process looks, it actually stacks up pretty quickly. Now, some of you are probably already typing in the comments, just use a story stick, it'll be a whole lot faster. What is a story stick, some of you are asking? Well, it's a stick that is the same length of what you want to cut, and you scribe your line using that. It's a whole lot faster, it really is. And I did switch over to that after I cut these few pieces, but I didn't get footage of that. But my early inefficiencies aside, I did finally stack up 100 pieces. And along with those 100 pieces, I also cut some extras for ties, because I needed some ties, and for bridges, and for switches, and for just regular ties to replace some of the stuff that was already rotten out on the main line. So here I am stacking it all up so I can cut it more efficiently on the table saw. And yes, I'm stacking it on the table saw. Deal with it. And now comes the part that I guess we'll call production sawing, ripping all these pieces in half so I can use them as railroad ties, turntable pit wall, or what have you. Well, now that all the cutting's done, time to clean up. So I guess we'll call this part stack and sort. We're sorting the pieces by putting the turntable wall parts in the wheelbarrow first, and then we stack the railroad ties on top of that. And what do you know? It all fits in one wheelbarrow. The tires feel a little soft.
Oh. Oh no. Oh.
Hey, right into the pit. Well, some of these are pit parts.
The rest are ties.
That's a tie for a bridge or something.
You know, I guess I'll neaten them up when I get there.
Okay.
You can fit a lot more when they're stacked.
Yeah, I know.
Or is this just a get them out of the wheelbarrow, lighten this thing up?
Yeah, that's what it is.
You dropped one. right as you pick that one up.
The rest of this is turntable pit. So there we go. There's our pallet full of 200 17 1/4 inch long pieces of roughly 2x2s. Gotta make sure that I put them all on their sides, not upright, because they're not exactly 2x2s. They're ripped 2x4s, so the dimensions aren't perfect, but they're close enough in enough dimensions that I don't think it's gonna matter. It's not gonna hurt anything. And I guess the next thing is to put the turntable pit wall together, but I think that's going to be another video entirely. There's plenty enough going on this video, and of course I've also got to weed this. So anyway, join us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Mill Brook Railroad for early access to videos and exclusive content, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.